Do you know the first time I watched this movie was with 3 black people?
Really?
Mm.
That must have been uncomfortable for you.
It wasn't. Hi, welcome to ABC's Film, where we watch movies that have won the Best Picture award at the Oscars. But this week it's going to be one of my choices, and I've chosen American History X. So let's just get to it. American History X stars Edward Norton as a former neo-Nazi who's just been released from prison. He notices that his brother is kind of going down the same path that he is, so he tries to stop him, and they both reflect on all of the decisions that he made that put him into jail in the first place.
I want you to analyze and interpret all the events surrounding Derek's incarceration. How these events helped shape your present perspective concerning life in contemporary America.
This one was one of my choices.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was okay. I thought there were problems with it, certainly.
I definitely think there's problems
It's
with it.
not a perfect film. I think
Yeah.
the performances are very good. The direction's okay.
That's one of the things that I don't like, is the direction. I used to love it when it first came out,
Yeah.
or like a couple of years after when I first saw it. But looking back on it now, I wouldn't even say it's dated, because it doesn't even feel like a 90s film. It's
I
just
think
some
it
of
does.
some of it's kind of weird.
It felt a lot to me like I think 25th Hour, just because it's another Edward Norton
Yeah.
film, but it's kind of like that kind, like Fight Clubby direction. But Fight Club's better directed than this, but it feels
Yeah.
kind of like Fight Club to me. I'm just mentioning Edward Norton films, aren't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it feels like this film Edward Norton is also in.
But to me, it's like, you know, because it keeps going to slow motion.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe that was in the edit, but it's quite smooth, so they must have filmed it at a higher frame
Yeah.
rate. And some of it's great, like when
Yeah.
he's getting arrested and he puts his hands up and he's got a smile on his face, like that's great. But some of it's just
I really like the idea of using black and white to indicate flashbacks, because it's really hard to tell. It would be really hard to tell otherwise what's happening in
Yeah.
the present day and what's happening.
yeah. And there are a lot
in
of
the
films that
past.
jump around and you're like, where are we?
Yeah, I mean, with this, I suppose it could kind of work because in the present day, Edward Norton's got different hair, you know, and that'd be the indicator. But Edward Norton's not in every single scene.
Yeah.
And, Danny Vineyard does look the same
Oh my
in
God.
both time periods.
You don't think they went black and white because it's a race thing? Do you?
Maybe.
Like when he was a neo-Nazi.
Oh yeah, because
he saw
beforehand
everything
he
in
was,
black
yeah,
and white.
it was polarized, and now the world's full of color.
That wouldn't surprise me. Which sort of ties into the backstory of this, which is there's 2 versions of this film. There's Tony Kaye's and there's Edward Norton's. This one is Edward Norton's. Nobody knows what Tony Kaye's is. He lost the battle with the studio to get his edit out
Yeah.
and wanted his name taken off. He said it was like rubbish. They've ruined his vision and things like that. So there's a lot when you're watching it of, is this what Tony Kaye was on about, or is this how he wanted it?
Yeah.
Like, did he want black and white? Did he want the
Yeah.
slow motion stuff?
I mean, Tony Kaye did say after that Edward Norton would put himself in the film a lot more than he was originally. It is very much Edward Norton's film here. And
Edward
considering
Norton's
he
become,
had-
if the gossip's to be believed,
Yeah.
Edward Norton is known for somebody who will rewrite a film that he's involved with, and he will ask for final cut.
Yeah.
Which is why Edward Norton's career is not as great as it used to be. But then you think he works with Wes Anderson a lot, and I don't think Wes Anderson's going to be like, yeah, sure, Ed.
Well, Jews have been persecuted for over 5,000 years. Are you saying that it's wrong to feel sensitive about anti-Semitism?
Oh, forget that. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way, baby. I'm so sick of these liberal hypocrites.
Tony Kaye seemed like he made himself an easy mark because of the way he acted.
Yeah.
On set as well, like tantrums and getting mad at executives. And he said that he did that because that's the way that old executives used to act, but it's like he didn't realise beforehand they were playing a smart power game,
Yeah.
and he was just being an asshole.
Oh, has he said that?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He did an interview with The Guardian a few years ago. Yeah, he's saying that he recognises now that he was like, studios don't want to hire him because he's not reliable. He's seen as a loose cannon.
Yeah.
You know, and he also seems like kind of a jackass. Like, he didn't even really know what the hell it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, when he was making it, he's like, he's got some sort of idea, but he's still not really, it's not quite
Yeah.
there. I imagine this might be one of those situations where if you watch it, you'd be like, what the fuck? Quite possibly.
It could
like,
be,
I
yeah.
have no idea.
Well, this
what
is
he
the
was
thing.
going
Like
for.
Edward Norton might be like that,
Yeah.
but
This is a
point me
coherent
to a
film.
bad Edward Norton film.
Yeah.
You know?
Moonrise Kingdom.
Fuck off.
If you win, we will walk away. But if we win, no bitching, no fighting. Right here in front of everybody, you pack up your shit and get your black asses out of here.
I quite like the music.
I can't remember any of it, so
Oh, it's quite-
it wasn't remarkable to me.
dramatic.
Yeah.
But as if it's made for a movie that is the most important movie ever made, you know?
I should point out as well that one of the criticisms this film has had is that it is the way it portrays neo-Nazis and the way they're filmed. It's like this film like they're powerful and like they're the good guys. And there's one scene where they're playing basketball and they win the basketball game. And the music is very over
Yeah, it's very
triumphant.
victorious, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
yeah, they beat those
and
people.
The only way, those guys.
Yeah.
The only way I can kind of see around it is if,
because it's supposed to be from their point of
yeah,
view.
from their perspective, is like how they feel about it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, oh,
No, I like that scene.
it's a weird scene overall. I think because it's like it feels like it's from a teen movie.
And yeah,
Like, they're
it
playing
also
basketball
kind of,
for
yeah,
control
it
of the
does kind of
court.
feel
It's
like, you know, they're going to save the rec center or
Yeah,
something. But like,
it's-
that would never happen. They wouldn't just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I do like the way it portrayed like the fall into neo-Nazism is kind of influenced by the father figures he has in his life, because like there's a scene like the flashback towards the very end of the film where it shows that he has the ideas he has because his father was racist.
Yeah.
And it's like, I work for the fire department, they've hired these two black guys and they're stupid.
Yeah.
And it must be because of affirmative action.
Look, now you get this book, Native Son. You know, what happened to the other books in the course? They're not any good anymore because Mr. 2 PhD says they aren't? Huh? I mean, you gotta trade in great books for black books? Does that make sense? Huh?
And then like when his father died, he kind of found this guy Cameron, who's like a white nationalist author.
Yeah. I like how it shows that guy is clearly like using them and he's
Yeah.
stepping back from all the stuff that they
Yeah,
do,
'cause-
but he just makes them do it.
Sure you don't want to stick around?
You know I'd love to, but I gotta be careful.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think Edward Norton says explicitly that he's like, this Cameron fellow's going after like disadvantaged youth and trying
Yeah.
to turn them to his ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I thought was interesting to look at it from like the perspective of 1999 or 98 this film
Yeah.
was released. And to look at it now, because I imagine most of it happens these days on like YouTube and message boards and things
Yeah.
like that people fall into it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just quite an interesting kind of contrast in where we are now from where they were at the time of the film, because obviously
Yeah,
at
I
the
suppose
time-
now it would go a
Yeah.
bit different. But I mean, that party would still be the same.
Yeah, but at the time, I imagine it would have been mostly through like white nationalist books and things that these kind
Yeah.
of that's the way you get radicalized.
Yeah. So early on in the film, Edward Furlong's been having a conflict with these coloured kids, and at the end of the film, almost out of the blue, completely out of the blue, this coloured kid just walks up to him and shoots him.
Do you think it works as an ending?
I think it works as an ending, yeah, but I don't.
I mean, it's the end of the film, so.
It's not like the story ends up getting tied together. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just kind of like a bunch of people fucking hate each other and then the
Yeah.
credits roll.
Yeah. It's
Like-
the collateral damage of racism or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the original ending, or the mythical original ending, is that Edward Norton's character would turn back to being a neo-Nazi.
Turn to the left!
I would have preferred that just as like a story thing, but I
Yeah.
can see why they didn't do it.
like he's learned a lesson by being like, you know, raped and stuff.
Yeah. But like I know, but
Just
I
turning back
sort
from
of
that.
like the idea of it's just hate, you know, like he's
Yeah.
just hateful, and that would be a good twist on the story. But like, fuck that, because then people would be like, hey, yeah, I mean, I want to be like him.
Oh, no, no!
Plus, I just don't think that scene is particularly well acted. I think that Edward Norton's worst scene in the film.
It's so annoying, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
like all the
Up
way
until that
through the
point.
film, like there are like really like Oscar-worthy performances.
Yeah.
Like whenever he has a rant
Yeah.
and goes off on one,
Yeah.
it's insane how like compelling he is, because he's saying stuff that like is completely disgusting, but you're like,
Yeah.
tell me more, tell me more.
Everybody lost sight of old Rodney King himself. I mean, the guy's a multiple felon. By his own admission, he's high as a goddamn kite, driving 120 miles an hour down the highway. He gets pulled over by a bunch of cops, and he attacks them. He attacked police officers. That's the bottom line.
I suppose it makes sense to have ended it with the Abraham Lincoln quote about the better angels of their nature. And,
Yeah, yeah.
That's like the more hopeful ending, I suppose, they went for. Instead
But does that make it more hopeful? Because like the
That's
movie,
it's
the
a
movie
set-
does
yeah.
just show like endless battles between black
Yeah,
and
and
white
then
people,
it's
and then it's
like,
like,
hey,
come on guys, let's be mates.
And yeah, in the end, it's like, hey guys, get along.
Yeah.
It's a message to the audience more than anything else, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Just be friends, guys.
Don't shoot Edward Furlong.
We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic chords of memory will swell when again touched, as surely they will be by the better angels of our nature.
So that was our review of American History X. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and join us in 2 weeks' time when we will be reviewing In the Heat of the Night, which I've just realised is quite funny, those two films.
Yeah. Race relations in the American South.
Every night I bring her Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. Oh, my baby loves those Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. I try to win her with candy, ice cream and custard. But how she likes hot dogs with mustard.